Let's now talk tight ends. This will be the last position we're going to cover.
Yeah, tight ends tier one. I got three guys for you. For me, Travis Kelsey. I still think he comes back in the Kansas City offense, and then you just found out that Hollywood Brown goes down, which then gives more targets. I think to Travis Kelsey. I think Travis Kelsey dominates in 24 again, led by Patrick Mahomes. And you want to grab a piece of that Chiefs offense somehow, some way in your drafts, and to start out with Travis Kelsey is an awesome way to do it. Next up, I have Trey McBride. Trey McBride, he kind of took over last year, midway through the year. And since he did that, his numbers just skyrocketed. You know, you come back with a healthy Kyler Murray for a full year. I think Trey McBride is going to jump into that top three at the end of the fantasy year tight end point value, where he's going to be really good throughout the year. He's going to be probably maybe the second leading target. For the Cardinals, probably behind Marvin Harrison Jr. But I think Trey McBride is going to creep up into getting that tier one range. And then the last is our beloved Sam Laporta, who had a really good rookie season last year. You know, there's a chance that he could be the second leading target getter in Detroit behind Amon Ra. But hopefully he can just continue that success that he had his rookie season, especially so you know our Lions can continue to win games this year. But I think Sam Laporta is getting in that top tier range as well. Tier two. Here I have, I have five tight ends in this tier two, and then after that, to me, it drops off.
Okay, sure.
So I would highly recommend you want to get one of these top eight guys, top seven guys. And if you don't, then I would just maybe punt for later on and then grab a tight end later on in your draft.
Okay.
But the tier two is filled with Dalton Kincaid. I think coming back, he could be the number one target for Josh Allen after losing two of their starting wide receivers. And so that his upside is really massive being in Buffalo. And if you're a number one target for Josh Allen, you're going to have a really special year.
Yeah.
Next guy would be Mark Andrews. When this guy is healthy, he is a top, 2, 3 tight end in the league. He's always just behind Travis Kelsey. The problem with Mark Andrews, and the only reason why I have him in tier two, is he has not been able to stay healthy. But when he is also another tight end that can lead the Ravens in receiving targets and also receiving this year.
And I think he got hurt today in practice too.
Did he really? I did not hear that yet.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's anything serious, but
Okay.
it's
Actually, you know
the
what? I
point
think he
of
got
him always getting hurt.
no, no, no. I think he got in a car accident.
Yes, that's what it was. He got in a
Yeah.
car accident. Yes, you're right. So they said he might miss a couple practices, but he'll be okay. That's right. It
Yeah.
was a car accident. Okay.
Yep.
Not funny.
No, yeah. The next guy is up. He was a target monster last year in Evan Ingram for the Jags. He had 143 targets, and then they lost Calvin Ridley. So, you're just going to provide more opportunity for Evan Ingram, which you have that many targets. You're going to be in that top tier range. And so that's where I have Evan Ingram in the tier two range. My last two tight ends that I have there is George Kittle. If you watch Receiver on Netflix, you can see this dude is all about personality. He loves football. He's going to play football for a long time. He's very productive. He's a big focal point to their offense. If they end up losing Brandon Ayuk, I think George Kittle is going to, his numbers are also going to improve. And so that could be a really big pickup, taking George Kittle, especially if losing Ayuk. And then the last guy I have in this range who could easily bump up into tier one is, arguably probably the most elite tight end from an athleticism standpoint that we've seen, which is Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
He's a huge upgrade at the quarterback position, getting Kirk Cousins. And so we will really see where Kyle Pitts falls this year. But because of his athleticism and an upgrade in quarterback, I think Kyle Pitts could be a special player this year that could bump himself up into that tier one range.
All right. And then any rookie tight ends that maybe will make an impact. Obviously, if so, someone you would look at maybe, if you like you said, if you don't get one of those eight guys, you maybe want to just look at a tight end towards the end of your draft.
Yeah, I mean, rookie wise, you have Brock Bowers, who's arguably the best tight end prospect to ever come out of the draft. but there's so many question marks with their offense and then quarterback play, and then they have Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. Those guys are going to take up a lot of targets. If anything, it's going to be Brock Bowers. From a
Okay.
skill standpoint, he's top of the line. Um, I don't see any too many other rookies that, it's hard, I think, for a rookie to get such a big target share early on. And so, Brock Bowers has the potential to do it, but that's not somebody who I'm targeting in my drafts often.
And then if you don't get any of those top 8, and is there a sleeper you might strike gold with later on in the draft?
Um, Yeah, I like there's a couple guys that I like later on. Like if I'm gonna punt on it, I like Pat Fryermuth from Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he can have a nice bounce back year and upgraded quarterback play. Depending on the connection with David Njoku and Deshaun Watson, Njoku is a very extremely athletic quarterback who has put up big numbers. The Ravens, there's talk about going to a 2 tight end set, and,
Okay.
if they do that and then Isaiah Likely plays, Isaiah Likely came on strong last year, especially when Mark Andrews got hurt. I could see Isaiah Likely having another good year as well. So those are some guys that if I don't get into that top, 7, 8 range, I will fall back and try to draft one of those, just thinking here a second, Jake Ferguson, I think could be a really good target
Mhm.
guy, especially in Dallas. And if CD Lamb does for whatever reason hold out, I think Jake Ferguson's value goes skyrocket. And so those are just some names that I like to target later on, if I don't end up drafting one of these top tier guys.
All right, Corey. Well, that will wrap up tight ends.